Hi, I'm Julia Smagorinsky with Emergent Abundance Farming Collective, and we're here today to give you a visual explanation of our project proposal, expanding Emergent Abundance Farming Collective's accessibility, communication, and connection.
Hi, my name's Laura Lawrence. I'm also part of the collective, and we're excited design and development in the process of us talking with our collective group. It's been a very communicative, collaborative process.
Okay, I'm going to show some pictures that Laura created. And so here we can see a bird's eye view of our garden that highlights the perimeter of the new fence with the two gates. On the bottom of this drawing, you see the north western border of our garden, where we're going to have the main entrance, and it's our entrance of choice. We're actually moving it to the side now because the tendency of our community members is to first stroll down to our gathering grove amongst the trees where we have a picnic bench, and people tend to gather there, maybe have a snack and check in with each other, and then head over from there to the garden. So this will be a much more direct pathway. And then on the opposite side of the garden, there's going to be another gate that connects to the compost and organic material drop-off place where the township and other farmers have access to deliver mushroom compost and wood chips for our use. Would you like to add something?
I would say that also this is just a working drawing. Things are always evolving as we talk together and decide kind of our direction. But generally, we realized we really needed to protect this interior garden to make it viable, and to also just give respect to the efforts of the community members and of the plants to grow and flourish without having some damage from wildlife maybe encroaching or other elements that might destroy some of the garden.
Yeah, that's right. We've seen a lot of deer coming into our garden this year specifically, and so we're hoping to upgrade our fencing system. In this design, we're also going to lay down landscape fabric on both sides of the fence to enable the fence to just stand strong without any weeds or vines growing up, and also to give enough space for any mowing equipment that will run on the further perimeter of this fence to not actually have to try to mow too closely and then interfere with the fencing structure. This could also allow us to add like a very low hot wire to, in the future, keep some ducks or chickens inside the garden. And that hot wire would help to keep foxes and other predators out. Yeah, so I'll go over to the next slide unless you want to add something more.
Let me just make one quick note about this too while we're on this slide, Julia. We're also really trying to take into consideration discernible pathways that are easy for younger people or people with mobility issues so that they can access the garden easily. And we'll probably also be doing some different tiered layering height features so that people can access different beds more easily. But we're really trying to see how our garden is being used by the community and then adapt to those needs as we see that happening.
Yeah, that's the beautiful process we're engaged in. Thank you for that. So I'm going to the next slide. This is showing more of a three-dimensional perspective, where you can again see the gates, how they're lining up, and then One additional element that you can see here is the gallery of informational posters and also pictures that we will be able to place along the side of the fence. We can maybe explain a little bit more in detail what all could be included here. So there could be some information about the database system that we're developing and how to use it. Also just general welcoming information and how to join our collective. There could be some information about in Spanish for one, and then also information that connects to the Lenape Nation of Pennsylvania. I'm also envisioning just a little bit of a picture gallery that shows the history of this place and how this all came to be.
Another thing I'd like to add is in permaculture, there's a particular interest in borders and edges. And this fence we see also as really acting as that, in that edges are often very active places. So we don't want this to be a barrier necessarily, but just an opportunity for another way to engage the interior and exterior, make it a more active, integrated part of the garden as well.
Wonderful, yes. And another one of those pictures that we might post on the outside could be about how we work with permaculture, the ethics, the principles, and some of those basic components. I'll move to the next slide. So this slide shows really beautifully what we're envisioning with our plant labels and how that will connect back into the Kennett Library and to the seed library and the database that we are planning to establish. So on this beautiful drawing, you can see in the forefront, you see lettuce, and then we would add the names in 3 languages. So English, Spanish, and Lenape. And then each plant label will have a QR code on it that will tie into a database. And the database will also be accessible directly from Kennett Library Seed Library. So we will have that direct connection to the wider community. The database itself will have quite a lot of information that we can grow over time with the help of the public. So we're imagining a Wikipedia-like system where people can contribute. And we want to include growing techniques, culinary use, cultural significance, medicinal use, propagation, seed saving, maybe stories, and much more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love this. This picture really demonstrates kind of the multifaceted, circular kind of connectivity we have both with the community and with the land. I mean, we have plants that are literally giving us food, and then seeds that then go to the library physically. We have seeds from the garden going into the library, as well as the data that's being shared both through the library, through anybody's access to digital formats. So we have multi-layers of kind of levels of engagement and connection. So I think that's one of the most exciting things that we've really been able to visualize this year.
And this will also be of direct use for our collective as we are growing more specific instructions on how to grow specific crops. All this will be based in this database. So it will be of direct use to members of the collective who are taking on responsibility to grow specific crops, as well as to the wider public.
Yeah, and I'd like to just kind of leave us as we kind of wind down with a thought to leave with you about the general kind of feeling of Emergent Abundance Farming Collective. It is a producing farm. We plant food-based plants that we share with local organizations such as our area food bank. But besides growing food, we're not solely for production, but we also are very invested in restorative practice in our daily connection to the land, the people, and the community. So we are actively learning how to meet challenges that we face as pathways to growing, and also those challenging ourselves, really to ask questions and listen deeply so that we can really respond better to the fullest mission that we really want to open up to ourselves and to our community.
Thank you so much. So here you can see where you can find more information, and thank you so much for watching.
Thank you very much. See you, Julia.